Hello there, my name is Jackson Chapono and thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to be speaking to you today. As you may know, Zimbabwe went for the 33rd Olympic Games in Paris, France. Some call it Paris, but Paris or Paris is the same thing. So Zimbabwe was there being represented. What is a bit concerning now is the fact that we didn't get any gold medals at all. We'll talk about that very soon. I'm back. First of all, I want to congratulate you on your upcoming sports academy. I must say that's a very good move in terms of an effort in promoting sports in Zimbabwe. Now back to the Olympics. This 2024 in Paris, France. Not only did we not get any gold medals, we didn't get silver, we didn't get bronze. Since 1980, Zimbabwe has only 8 gold medals. The first one was won in 1980 with the women's national team, hockey, field hockey, and the other 7 were won by none other than our Honorable Minister of Sport, Art and Recreation, Kirsty Coventry. Well done to her. She has done our country proud. So since 2004 to 2008, it's only our Honorable Minister, Kirsty Coventry, was winning the gold medals, silver and bronze. So she has won 7 of them. The breakdown in terms of the medals that we won were 3 golds, 4 silver and 1 bronze over the past 44 years. Oh, I will review in just a second. We need to discuss the challenges that the athletes from Zimbabwe face in terms of participation in the Olympics. One of them is a limitation of resources. The economic situation in Zimbabwe has hindered our government and our country from promoting sport fully. So we'll discuss that in a few seconds. Okay, we had already discussed that there's a limitation of resources and funding. Zimbabwe's economic struggles have impacted the country's ability to invest in sports. And in infrastructure, in training, and in athlete support. That's number 1. Number 2, the lack of facilities and equipment, inadequate training facilities, equipment and medical support hinder athletes' preparation and performance. That's number 2. Number 3, limited international exposure. Zimbabwean athletes often have fewer opportunities to compete internationally, making it difficult to gain exposure and experience. That's number 3. Then we also have got a challenge in a brain drain and talent drain and talent loss. What I'm saying is this: the moment Zimbabweans make it in terms of sports, they normally choose to exit the country. So Zimbabwean athletes emigrate to other countries, depriving the necessary skills to the nation and the necessary experience. Number 5, we've often heard of corruption. We're talking about corruption. Corruption in management. Sometimes the allegations of corruption and mismanagement within Zimbabwean sports administration, and that can actually hinder athletes' support and development. Number 6, although these days and although these years it has improved a bit, Zimbabwean athletes used to face challenges in terms of obtaining travel and visa and in sorting those issues. Zimbabwean athletes may face challenges of getting visa and traveling to international competitions due to the country's political and economic situation. Sometimes that would affect us. And those are one of the challenges that we're being faced by Zimbabweans. Number 7, the limited coaching and expertise. Zimbabwe may lack specialized coaches and experts in certain sports, impacting athletes' development. Number 8, inadequate medical support. Limited access to quality medical care, physiotherapy, and sports science support can affect athletes' performance and injury recovery. You know how it is when someone hits his hamstring, that person may actually need some time after visiting a physiotherapist to heal and everything. So if they are not getting enough guidance and support, they may quickly go into the field, thereby inflicting more harm to their muscles. And in the end, that may end up incapacitating the athlete from participating at all if he or she sustains a permanent injury. All right, the other challenge is psychological challenges. Athletes may face pressure, stress, and expectations from representing their country. And this normally happens if you see, especially in soccer. Our soccer team always had this overload, a burden to win, yet they may not have been trained very well, they may not have had a lot of opportunities. So that pressure to represent the country and that pressure from media and from people and fans that they should win, they should bring the gold, can actually impact our athletes psychologically. Then there's global competition. Zimbabweans athletes compete against well-funded and well-experienced teams from some larger, more established sporting nations. Let's look, for example, at United States of America. United States of America is made up of more than 50 states. And so we're talking about a very big pool where they can be looking for their number one in 100 meters. So that by itself, that can in actual fact impact the level of competition that the athletes are subjected to before going to the Olympic Games. So these are some of the challenges that we are facing, or the country is facing, or our athletes is facing in terms of our performance at the Olympics. Next, we are going to be looking at the solutions to the problems that our athletes face. Thank you. All right, now we are now discussing the solutions that are there in terms of trying to solve the problems that we have when it comes to Olympics, or the problems that our athletes in Zimbabwe are having as they go to the Olympics. Before we go into that, I feel there's another problem, or the other problems that I also need to highlight, and these are to do with the attitude or the societal beliefs in terms of sport. We as Zimbabweans are not yet comfortable in actually thinking that someone can make a career out of sports or can have a meaningful livelihood from sports. And for that reason, you will see that many athletes from a very young age, they actually go to sports because of passion, and they are always facing resistance from parents who may actually be concentrating more on telling their children, teaching their children that it's the academic way that is the way. Because of that, then we always get a situation whereby athletes only get to be a bit more serious with sports at the time when they have grown, when they can be able to resist the resistance that they'll be getting towards playing sports. Right here, I've got players who have played for Zimbabwe. 3 of the players have played for COSASA Under 17 this 2024, and I've got another player who has played for Under 21 Zimbabwe Netball and also Under 19. How old were you when you went for your Under 19 games? She was 15 years old, but she started playing sports a bit earlier. How old were you? How old were you when you started playing sports? Netball. 13, somewhere around there. So she started playing netball somewhere around the age of 13. So imagine if she had started playing sports at a much younger age than 13 years. And how old are you, those ones at COSASA? 15. how was your experience at the Costa Under 17 national games where you're playing against Zambia, where you played against Eswatini? How was the feeling?
I really liked it.
Okay. Okay, and you?
Yeah, it was very exciting.
Okay. You'd want to one day play for the Olympics?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, that's fine. And how was your experience?
It was very exciting. I really enjoyed myself.
Okay, thank you very much. So here you are. This is what we need to do as a country. We need to start catching them young, exposing them to sports. And this is the only way we can also be able to contribute, amongst other ways that we can use in terms of developing our athletes and making sure that we can go and showcase our talents at the Olympics. Thank you very much, girls. Thank you. How is your netball today?
Exciting.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Some of the solutions that we can actually be able to use for us as a country to improve our performance at the Olympics are as follows. Number one, if we have increased funding and support, the government investment in sports and infrastructure and training programs, corporate sponsorship and partnership, or crowdfunding initiatives, all these may actually help in terms of improving whatever we have to use, in facilities, money, remuneration, in everything that we need to do in terms of developing our athletes and developing the sports in this country. Number two, improved facilities and equipment. Upgrading existing facilities, building new facilities, access to quality equipment and technology. All of this will help us in terms of improving our athletes. We also need, number three, international competition experience. We need to be sending teams to international competitions, partnering with other countries for training and competition, and hosting international events in Zimbabwe. For us to be able to host, we should obviously have facilities that are of reasonable and world accepted standards, so that other countries will be comfortable in coming to our country for us to then play games and practice and develop each other. Number four, talent development and retention. We need to establish youth development programs, providing education and career support, encouraging athletes to remain in Zimbabwe. This can only be done if there are lucrative offers. If corporates, the government, and the private sector, if they are to come up with ways or come up with clubs which will make sure that the athletes get livelihood from sports, they get remuneration from sports, this will obviously then encourage these athletes to stay in the country instead of having to go to cross borders to look for greener pastures. Then we need good governance and management. We need to be transparent and accountable in our sports administration, effective management of resources, fair selection processes. So many rumors always come in social media whereby athletes are complaining that in the national teams you can actually find some people who have been put there who are not deserving. That happens even in high schools, even at young ages, whereby you find there's sometimes age cheating. You've got some coaches or some teachers who put kids who are older than the required age or required minimum age, in so doing disadvantaging the children who are actually supposed to be playing within that age range. So this in itself needs to be corrected. So we need good governance and management in sport. Then number six, coaching and expertise. We need to be highly experienced foreign coaches, training local coaches, and access to sports science and medical expertise. The other solution, number seven, is medical support. We need access to quality medical care, physiotherapy and injury rehabilitation. There's also the issue of mental health support. Number eight is psychological support, sports psychology services, mentorship programs, team building initiatives. All of these are part of psychological support. Number nine, we need good global partnerships, collaborations with international sports organizations, partnership with other countries, and access to international training camps. All of these
help us in terms of improving our performance at the Olympics. Then already within the solutions, we have our universities, for example, Bindra University of Science and Technology there, who have introduced the degree of Bachelor of Science in Sports Science and Management. This helps in training would-be coaches, athletes, everyone who is interested in sport, so that they can be able to understand the science of sport, or if they want to go into the management aspect, they can be able to understand how to properly manage the sports. That then goes and solves the issues of corporate governance or governance in sport. So already these universities are doing quite a lot in terms of that. But we also have to be encouraging each other, especially the graduates, especially the students at universities, that they should not target to just have a degree and go and look for a job as a coach and go and look for a job somewhere at some institution. Rather, they should start new institutions. They should start new sports academies, and then employ the education, employ the training that they had at university, so that we can be able to improve our athletes and improve our sports, so that we can be able to perform better at the Olympics. Further, we should then be able to employ the science of sports, which we learn, or which these students learn in these degrees, so that we can be able to have a different approach in terms of sport, where it's now scientific, where we should be able to measure the physical participation, to measure a lot of things that are necessary for us to be able to develop better athletes. For example, how much is the person supposed to build certain parts of the body in terms of, let's say, muscle size, what sort of diet the athletes are supposed to be taking, how to resist in certain temperatures, all those things, how to develop the cardiovascular systems. All those things need to be employed so that we create better athletes. So these are some of the solutions that we need to be employing, so that we can be able to have a better performance. We need, as Zimbabwe, to increase our gold medal tally or gold medal table from 8 to a reasonable number. We also have to pretty much thank all the athletes who, against all odds, try their level best to go and participate in these Olympics. Very much hoping to get gold. Thank you very much.